This is what we are about. We plant seeds that one day will grow. We water seeds already planted, knowing that they will hold future promise. We lay foundations that need further development. We provide yeast that produces effects beyond our capabilities. We can't do everything, and there's a sense of liberation in realizing that. This enables us to do things and do it very well. It may be incomplete, but it is a beginning. It is a step along the way, an opportunity for God's grace to enter and do the rest. We may never see the end result, but that is the difference between the master builder and the worker. We are the workers, not master builders, ministers, not messiahs. We are prophets of a future not our own.
Welcome to the 123rd Annual Forest City Regional High School Commencement, honoring the class of 2021. The accomplished young men and women seated before you this evening are about to enter the world beyond these walls. We gather here tonight to honor and celebrate them. For 4 long years, they have worked toward this day, and now it is here. Let's give them a round of applause. Graduates, throughout this school year, our theme was Ride the Wave. And I can hear your collective eye roll. I want to explain what riding the wave entails, as I've learned a lot about surfing this year, although I've never actually surfed. See, when you ride the wave, you let go of some control. You cannot control how big the wave is or how fast it is going to break. But what you do get to control is when you pop up on your board. It is then that you control your turns. You might get tossed off the wave. In fact, I will guarantee that at some point you do, but I want you to get back on your board and paddle out again. Each wave you ride better prepares you for the next, because riding the wave is about perseverance. Over the course of the last 4 years, you have persevered. You are sitting on this stage tonight because you rode the wave, and you did that long before it was our theme. This past year and a half has been difficult in so many ways. Every aspect of normal was washed out by one big wave. And yet, you got back on the board and paddled out. Each time you popped up on your board, you controlled your turns. And whenever you were hit by another wave, you got back up. There were big waves and small waves. Some broke fast and some broke slow. Virtual schooling, that was a slow break. Mask mandates, another slow break. Hybrid learning, slow break. Sports, fast break. Prom, fast break. And graduation, well, this feels like a really fast break. Once you leave this building, though, riding the wave doesn't end. The ocean will look calm at times, and at other moments you will feel like you are stuck in the current. Just like a wave, you will have ebbs and flows throughout your life. Sometimes the water will rush forward, and other times it will recede quietly. Life is just like the ocean. It can be calm and still, or rough and rigid. But in the end, it is always beautiful. Graduates, I wish you a life filled with beauty. And no matter what wave you choose to ride, I hope that you paddle out, pop up on your board, and control every turn. And if you get knocked down, I want you to paddle out and choose your next wave. Hope Reams, Academic Honors. Hope Reams resides in Uniondale and is the daughter of Deborah Owens and Victor Reams. At Forest City Regional, Hope participated in softball, National Honor Society, Student Council, Art Club, Spanish Club, FBLA, and CHOPS. Hope plans to attend Temple University, majoring in biology, with plans to become a surgeon.
Life is just a combination of wins and losses, and you don't know which one you'll get until you get it. When you succeed, you don't question if you did anything wrong or made the wrong decisions, because in the end, you still won despite any of those possible mistakes. But when you get an outcome that you weren't expecting or weren't hoping for, it's easy to start questioning where you went wrong. What if I did this, or what if I did that? I've asked myself these questions a few times in the past year. What if my wisdom teeth surgery was a week later or a week sooner? If I didn't miss that first week of school, would I have gotten a better grade in that one class that caused my GPA to drop? Or would it not have changed anything because it would have just been the second week I missed instead of the first? What if the day that I got in my car accident, I left the house, and instead of going left, I went straight? Would I have arrived safely, or would I just have hit a different patch of ice? These types of questions will ring and ring again, because there is no way of finding the answer. There is no way of going back and changing the situation to get a different outcome. And as long as these questions are whispering in your ear, you'll never find peace with the outcome you did receive. It could be compelling and even entertaining to think of the what-ifs and what could have beens, but it's important that when you're imagining these scenarios that you realize that what happened happened and what's done is done. Learn what can be learned and change what you can, accept what you can't, and then move forward. It's an honor to stand here this evening as the academic honors and as one of the students that makes up the only 4% of Black graduates of 2021. Despite the struggles and obstacles I've had to face as a Black woman in a predominantly white town in America, I've managed to never let those hindrances hold me back. Demonstrated by the fact I'm standing here being recognized as a person ranked third for the class of 2021. I couldn't change the backwards thinking that others possess, so I didn't exactly accept it, but I did tolerate it and kept moving forward. The diversity and diversity is increasing, and I hope the level of acceptance does too, because I won't be the last. In the words of the famous philosopher Harry Styles, treat people with kindness. Thank you.
Claire Urbis, Salutatorian. Claire Urbis resides in Browndale and is the daughter of Brian and Laura Urbis. Claire will be attending Syracuse University, where she will major in architecture. While at Forest City Regional, Claire participated in soccer, ski team, FBLA, yearbook committee, the National Honor Society, and was a senior class treasurer and student council president.
I want everyone to stop and think about something you complained about today. Was it the spotty Wi-Fi delaying your Zoom call, the ridiculously long line at Dunkin', the slow driver ahead of you when you were late because of the line at Dunkin', the price of gas, your kid driving your car and leaving the tank on E, that there was no hot water when you took a shower? But did you stop and reflect on the things you do have and are able to be grateful for? Were you grateful that you could afford Dunkin'? Were you grateful you were able to pay to put gas in your car? Were you grateful that your child arrived home safely? Were you grateful that you have clean running water at all? Think about it. Did you complain more than you reflected on your gratitude? Speaking of complaining, the one thing we can all agree on is that this school year was full of the unknown. We didn't know if we were ever coming back to school. We didn't know if we had already played our last games, and we didn't even know if we'd be able to be in the same room next to each other. Never mind walk across the stage tonight. Personally, I hate the unknown and uncertainty, as I'm sure most of us do. The beginning of the school year was extremely rough for me. For the first week or so, I would cry every day during and after school and feel sorry for myself. I came to the realization that this was the new normal, and I knew that I had to change my mindset. If I didn't, I was not going to accomplish anything I had hoped to for my final year. I concluded that I could continue to be miserable and hate what was left of my high school career, or I could make the best of what was offered to me. As you've probably guessed, I chose to find the good in this school year. I decided not to dwell on the fact that we weren't in school every day, but be grateful that we were able to be together and come to school every other day. I decided to not be upset that we had to wear masks during soccer games, but be grateful we were able to have a season at all. There are things that we simply have no control over. Why would we choose to complain about them and dwell on how they're an inconvenience in life when there's absolutely nothing that can be done about it? Let's take the weather, for example. You can look outside during the winter and be miserable all day over the fact that there are 6 inches of snow on the ground, or you can look outside and choose to see the beauty in it. Regardless of how you feel about it, there will still be 6 inches of snow on the ground. Which will you choose? Will you choose to focus on the negatives, stay inside, and pout all day? Or will you choose to go outside and play in that snow? Obviously, this translates far beyond the weather. As we all experienced this year, life happens. Hurdles will come up that may not be the easiest to jump over. In these situations, we can do one of 2 things. We can sit, be the victim, and let life carry on without us, or we can roll with the punches, learn, and grow from the situations that occur. Instead, I encourage you to look at what you are doing and how you can make a difference in an unideal situation. Whenever I would come home and express a problem I was having to my parents, they would always ask me what I was doing wrong in the situation. I could never understand why they never just solved the problem for me, but as I got older, I realized they were just preparing me for life. Life is far too short to play the victim. When you complain about a situation, you make yourself a victim. You can leave the situation, change the situation, or accept it. Instead, assess yourself on what you are doing, and what you are contributing to your everyday situations, and how you can make a more enjoyable life for yourself and others. We always have the opportunity to find the good in every situation. I am beyond grateful that my parents trained me to think in a way that led me to an automatic self-assessment. Choosing to be the solution to the problem is a big step in society that most of us are completely unaware of taking. There have been studies shown that stress caused by complaining and being negative can leave a long-lasting impact on the brain. Even just a few days of stress damages neurons in your hippocampus, which is a part of the brain that is used for problem solving and cognitive functioning. It also removes the ability to create new neurons, or ability to retain new information. If this mindset and behavior is constant and goes on long enough, it will cause that part of the brain to shrink, thus causing declines in memory, ability to adapt to new situations, and even increases one's risk for developing Alzheimer's disease. Now you might be asking yourself what positive thinking does for your body. Positive thinkers are proven to have lower rates of depression and distress, greater resistance to the common colds, better cardiovascular health, better coping skills during hardship, and a longer lifespan. Class, I encourage you to embrace and be thankful for what we were able to have and experience rather than dwell on what we missed out on or what we lost. I will leave you all with this quote. Acknowledge the good that you already have in life is the foundation for all abundance.
Caitlin Keller, Valedictorian. Caitlin Keller is the daughter of Tim and Nikki Keller and resides in Vanling. Caitlin will be majoring in electrical engineering technology at Bloomsburg University. In high school, she was active in the National Honor Society, FBLA, Student Council, Art Club, and Spanish Club.
Be honest, who here thought that I'd be up here giving this speech tonight? It's such an honor to be valedictorian of the Forest City Regional Class of 2021. It sure pays to be part of a class with 50-some students. From birth parents to step parents to grandparents, and everyone who played a parental role for the students up here, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping us along the way. None of us would be up here without the support of our friends and families. Mom, Dad, Bubs, Graham, Alfred, and even you, Billy. Thank you. Alfred, you can't be here for obvious reasons, but thank you for being my emotional support dog when my assignments would keep me up at night. Billy, thank you for being a troublemaker older sibling while my teachers love me. Bubs, thank you for always having my back and for letting me drive the pickup. There isn't much we don't have in common. Graham, thank you for always having a soft spot for me, no matter what I'm coming to you for. Dad, thank you for always being willing to help me with my homework, even though you stopped being able to actually help me a few years ago. Mom, from helping me with presentations to me helping you with ads, some things never change. Thank you guys, I love you all. I'd also like to thank my educators. I say educators rather than teachers, as I feel that some of you have taught me real life lessons, much more than classroom curriculum. Mrs. Franklin and Ms. Holgate, you taught me how to bite my tongue and always be the bigger person. G, thank you for forcing me to use different mediums. You showed me that I'm capable of much more than I thought I was, whether it's with art or the real world. Mr. Wade, you taught me many things, but if anything stuck with me, it's never too late to change your mind, you don't need to stick to the original plan, and never buy a rental car. Tristan, my Marine, you can't be here tonight, but I couldn't leave you out of this speech. First, I want to say thank you for serving our country. I could not be prouder of you. As I was writing this, you told me you were promoted to squad leader. You really never stop surprising me or give me something to brag about. At the beginning of the year, I promised you I would continue to work hard and make you proud. I promised I'd never do the senior slide. I'd work hard until the very end. You always give me motivation to keep going, whether it's in the classroom, at work, or in the gym. I'm sure my teachers miss you joining cahoots with random names just as much as I miss giving presentations with your birds screeching in the background. One thing is for certain, I would not be up here giving this speech without your never-ending support and love. I love you, and I miss you so much. I feel like I had the same kids in my classes for a majority of my high school career. However, my senior year unfortunately split us up. I went from having the same schedule as a few students to having classes with some people for the first time. But Forest City has a way of letting us get very close without ever sharing a classroom. My closest friends and I have very little in common but this building. But these walls started some friendships that will last us a lifetime. My girls, you know who you are. I wish you all the best. Work hard, but play harder. I may be going to Bloomsburg without any of you, but I know that no matter what, I can always count on you guys. May Temple, Syracuse, Misericordia, and Keystone treat you well. And lastly, to all of my classmates in the Forest City Regional Class of 2021, now is your time. Whether you are choosing to continue your education by going to university, attending a trade school, enlisting in the military, or immediately joining the workforce, I have no doubt that each and every one of you will do well and be a success in whatever your chosen course is. Forge your own path, write your own story, and most importantly, wherever life takes you, live life to the fullest and enjoy every moment you are given. We have been through so much, and this year has been hard on all of us, but we made it, and I couldn't be prouder of us. No matter where life takes us, whether you stay right here or you rip your roots right out of the ground, I know that we will always have each other's backs, because that is just the type of people sitting on the stage beside me. We watched each other grow up, and some of you surprised me and some of you didn't, but we will always be a Forrester family. As I thank each and every one of you, you should all thank me for the hundreds of homework assignments I shared with you throughout the years.
Thank you.
But on a serious note, I wouldn't be up here without you guys. All of you played a role in my success to be up here tonight.
Colonel James Dwanchik grew up in Browndale and graduated from Forest City Regional High School in 1989. Following graduation, he entered military service that summer as a cadet at the United States Military Academy at West Point, New York. Following his graduation from West Point in May of 1993, he was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the field artillery. During 27-plus years of serving our country, Colonel Dwanchik had the privilege of leading America's sons and daughters at the tactical, operational, and strategic level. He holds a Bachelor of Science in Engineering Management from the United States Military Academy, a Master of Science in Operations Research Systems Analysis from the Naval Postgraduate School, a Master of Science in National Security Strategy from the National War College at the National Defense University. Additionally, he is a graduate of the Field Artillery Officer Basic and Advanced Courses and the Command and General Staff College. His awards and decorations include Legion of Merit, Bronze Star Medal, Defense Meritorious Service Medal, 5 awards, Army Commendation Medal, Army Achievement Medal, 2 awards, Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, the Afghanistan Campaign Medal with 2 campaign stars, Army Superior Unit Award, and the Parachutist Air Assault and Joint Chiefs of Staff Identification Badges. Colonel Dwanchik is currently a senior analyst at the Perduco Group, part of Linquest Corporation. He and his wife Helen have 2 children, Casey, a registered nurse in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Logan, a rising freshman at Virginia Tech.
Colonel Dwanchik, will you please come forward? On behalf of the class of 2021, I would like to present you with this small token of our appreciation.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Can we get a photo op or what?
Come on, get in. Come on, let's go.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. This is probably the second best gift you could have given me. Thinking a few beer tokens at Frank's would have been good, but that's all right. Thanks. Well, thank you, Claire, for that kind introduction. I got to find my reading glasses first. So that's how it goes when you get up in age already. So, and you're not used to wearing a suit; you're used to wearing a uniform. So this shouldn't count against my time either. I think Luzafran is he's out in the ethosphere listening. So, as I said, thanks a lot for that great introduction. All right, show of hands. Who's worried about how long I'm going to talk? Go ahead. I wanted to get that out of the way, thanks. Good evening to everybody. It's truly an honor for me to return to my high school alma mater and deliver the commencement address. I wanted to personally thank Dr. Aquilina for inviting me and the countless others to make this night special and memorable. I know Luzafran had a part of it. Patricia Strojewski sitting down here. Countless others to pull these events off is not easy, ever. I know given the restrictions and so forth that you're under, this is no small task that you've accomplished. It really means a lot. I had the opportunity to see some familiar faces. Well, maybe not so familiar. Familiar from the nasal pharynx up. I know, I had to look that up too. I don't know what that was either. For the non-3 speakers, that's from the eyes up is good enough. That's how I was seeing you. Before addressing the class specifically, I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the parents, guardians, educators, and many others who are physically present tonight or looking on from afar, and how you have played a critical part of your graduate success. At the risk of overstating the obvious, it has been a trying year or so, to say the least. And with our son just graduating high school, I can certainly relate. All these stories that you shared, those were going on in my house. Some successful, some not so successful. So really, I just wanted to publicly thank that group for what you have done and continue to do for our young people. I know you're out there, and I want to give you a round of applause and pat yourselves on the back as well. It's been great. So on to the class of 21. I stand before you a career soldier, and I thought I would share some of my lessons learned that I think you could apply as you progress through life. My words aren't meant to say that I did everything right or even near right. As I realized earlier, when I met Chris Biondo. She graduated with my brother Joe in 1988. I happened to get a ride in her brother's state police car. There's a statute of limitations, right? That's about 40 years ago, I think. But you're going to have some trials as you go through life. And as I said, my words aren't meant to be any sort of panacea or be-all, end-all anything. But I thought if I could just share some of this with you, it might help. I don't expect you to remember me, and I certainly don't remember my commencement speaker back from 1989. But my hope is I leave you with some thoughts as you go forward. And as a matter of fact, some of these things I'm going to talk about, your three speakers already have mentioned some of it in a different way. I want to talk about teammates. Go get yourself some good teammates. Surround yourself with people of integrity and character. They're not necessarily like-minded. Good teammates don't always agree on everything, but work toward a common goal. Former New York Mayor Ed Koch once said, "If you agree with me on 9 out of 12 issues, vote for me. If you agree with me on 12 out of 12 issues, see a psychiatrist." Understand that when you surround yourself with good teammates, consider it a privilege. I certainly had the privilege of serving alongside some of the finest teammates America has to offer. Leverage them, consider them lifelong teammates, because teams matter most, not individuals. Life is a team sport. Be part of a team and put some good out into the world. With good teammates, respect and loyalty cut both ways. Good teammates tell you when you are wrong. They hold you and themselves accountable. Briefly recall my biography. Not a single item listed there was an individual accomplishment. As I speak, I'm assuming you are thinking who are some good teammates you know. They are certainly in this audience. They could even be sitting next to you. Start building your bench now and get yourself some good teammates. Perspective. I often recall this story my mom told me when she was growing up in Forest City. She often joked about where did Browndale get their water, and some in the audience may have heard this before. She said it's when people in Forest City flush their toilets. Ironically, my mother then spent the majority of her adult life living in Browndale, getting her water from Forest City. Have some perspective. You never know how things may change. Your class has already proven to be adaptive, resilient, understanding, and have already sacrificed much of your junior and senior years defining events that not long ago we thought would ever be possible. If it hasn't before, well, it certainly should now put life in perspective. Don't take the basic things in life for granted. Take time to take inventory of where you've been. You've earned it. You might be surprised to find out how much you've learned about yourself and others. I know graduation now is focused on where you're going. Grow and learn from your mistakes. Remember, I was in a state police car when I was a senior in high school. Always take time and reflect to celebrate the victories you have in life. There will be many. Perspective. Make it matter. Memorial Day wasn't all that long ago. For well over 200 years, service members have fought and died for the idea of freedom and liberty. I've gotten familiar with the stories of three that are Forest City Regional graduates: Jim Silphy, Larry Berneski, and Andy Brown. They deserve to know that their sacrifices weren't in vain. I want to challenge you to make that sacrifice matter. We're counting on you. Many of you have your path identified as you go forward in life. Others not so much, and that's really okay. The pace and distance can be different for everyone. No matter what you do, whether it's to go off to college or to the workforce or something else, make it matter. Make it count. Jackie Robinson said, "A life is not important except in the impact it has on other lives." Go make an impact. Make it matter. Understand the desire and will to succeed matters. Standards and discipline matter. You'll always have regrets. The key is to minimize that number. Challenge yourself every day. Take and accept risk. Ride the wave. I was listening and taking notes. Realize you're in the greatest country in the world. Many of us in my profession have seen the worst of mankind in faraway places, while at the same time also seeing America's sons and daughters at their very best. Make it matter. So if you're not sure what you're doing matters, have a little perspective and ask one of those teammates. Thank you again for allowing me to tell a little bit of my story, and let me offer my personal congratulations and best wishes to you, and may God bless the Forest City Regional High School class of 2021.
I can't repay the lessons that you taught when I was small, or give you gift for gift, the daily treasures I recall. I can't return encouragement and loving words of praise in quite the ways you did for me through all my childhood days. But there is one gift that I can give. It's all the love you've earned. For love is what you always taught, and love is what I earned. Thank you for everything you have done for me. Today, June 11th, 2021, my graduation from high school is for you. This celebration is not for any students or for the faculty, but for the parents who have brought their children to where they are in life today. This occasion is merely a stepping stone in our lives, which you have so kindly placed for us.
Will Maria Spinelli please come forward? It is my honor and privilege as the valedictorian of the class of 2021 to present you with this mantle. This mantle carries with it rights and responsibilities. The class of 2022, it is your turn to be the model of academic excellence for the underclassmen of Forest City Regional. Congratulations.
On behalf of the class of 2022, I accept this mantle. We will do our best to fulfill the obligations that this mantle symbolizes. Congratulations to you, the class of 2022.
Tragically, a member of the class of 2021's life was cut short. At this time, the Board of Directors will posthumously award the Forest City Regional High School diploma and present the Career Technology Center of Lackawanna County certificate to the student's family. Austin Scott Evans. Caitlin Rose Kowalik. Christopher David Walter Burness. Arthur Gaylord Bronson III. Wesley Benjamin Burley. Jacob Patton Wiley. Henry Michael Nebzadowski. Brady Nicholas Henschel. Claire Elizabeth Urbis. Caitlin Ann Keller. Hope Victoria Reams. Madeline Ann Shima. Stephanie Lynn Graham. Montana Elaine Cook. Lindsay Jane Evans. Alex David Smith. Benjamin Faylarka Thomas. Branson W. Casper. Michael E. Wilcox. Connor K. Halm. Cody William Slick. Emily Margaret Gorton. Abigail Elizabeth Sweigel. Kayla Grace Stuber. Skyla Summer Silphy. Isabel Julia Rickner. Isabella Marie Pleska. Madison May McCracken. Dakota James Foster. Tanner Benjamin Britton. Jacob Stone Gray. Robert Joseph Sweigel. Ryan Robert Phillips. Rocco Michael Sassani. Dylan Naracco. Jacob Storm Requena. Hannah Snyder. Tara Lynn Jezebeth Quinones. Jaden Kaylee Dean Sack. Eden McFarland. Leanne Victoria Dizer. Quinn Parker Kowaleski. Nicholas Joseph Ferrari. Christopher William Englert. Charles Clyde Ewens. Seamus Billy Murphy. Devin C. Mashuska. Zachary John Strayevsky. Mason W. Fuchs. Gilberto Antonio Albanez Olivares. Dustin Harley Swartz. Tyler Francis. Graduates, please stand. On behalf of the Forest City Regional Board of Education, it gives me great pleasure and personal pride to place the official seal on the accomplishments of the class of 2021. You have accepted and fulfilled the graduation requirements of Forest City Regional School District and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. On behalf of the Board of School Directors, I extend our collective appreciation and commendation for your dedicated efforts. By the power vested in the Forest City Regional Board of School Directors, I proudly proclaim you graduates of Forest City Regional School District. You may turn your tassels.
Wesley and Brady, you promised me you would protect me. Thank you. Can we have another round of applause for the class of 2021? Amazing. Amazing. I think Claire Urbis kind of filled me in on why I was making so many mistakes this year with her explanation about stress as well. So thank you for shining a light on what I've been dealing with all year long from the stress. Good evening, members of the Board of Education, colleagues in administration, distinguished members of the faculty and staff, Colonel Dwansik, class officers, families, friends, and most importantly, graduates of the class of 2021. It is an honor to have the opportunity to offer the closing remarks for this evening's commencement ceremony. Tonight's commencement culminates many years of dedication and determination by each of our 53 graduates. Arriving at this moment is bittersweet for many of us. For the students, it marks the end of this journey and the beginning of another, one I know they are both anxious and excited to begin. For our parents, graduation marks the true end of their children's time here in the Forest City Regional School District, time that I am sure has gone by far too quickly. For faculty, staff, and administration, it means saying goodbye to this outstanding group of young men and women who are essentially the heart and soul of our district, their success representative of the value of our work each day. Graduates, each year as I reflect on the advice that I can offer, I peer into the pages of your yearbook, which provide an invitation into your world, the opportunity to see the many academic awards, clubs, sports, activities, and community events that brought each of you closer and prepared you well for this evening. Looking deeper into your yearbook, I couldn't help but recognize the impact that this pandemic has had on our relationships and experiences. When we closed our doors on March 13th, 2020, at the beginning of COVID, none of us could have imagined the impact it was going to have on all of us. While many may have focused on the difficulties and challenges, our foresters, and particularly the class of 2021, helped us to stay positive. I am grateful for an interaction that I had with Claire Urbis earlier this week. We were talking about class night and how happy we were that we could have it in our auditorium and to provide the class of 2021 with the traditional celebrations that they deserved. I lamented to Claire about how difficult this school year was for our students. And Claire quickly remarked to me that as hard as it was, there were a lot of positives. She shared that finding the positive would be the message of her remarks this evening as the salutatorian of the class. I thanked her because I needed to hear that. I greatly appreciated her reminding me of the importance to look for silver linings during difficult times. That advice will prove invaluable to you as you move forward in your journey to post-secondary education, the military, or the workforce. Wherever your path may lead, you are sure to face many challenges and to experience many ups and downs. During those times, heed Claire's advice and remember that it always seems impossible until it's done. Don't let obstacles get in your way, and don't get discouraged if things don't go as planned. Stephanie Graham tells us to treat the word impossible as motivation and to follow Branson Casper's advice and respect the process. Skyla Silphy reminds us not to let what we cannot control us. And Nick Ferrari knows that if we discourage ourselves, we'll only continue to stay in our own way. In the end, Caitlin Kowalik is right. No matter what happens, every day is a brand new start. Whatever path you choose, it will serve you well to be kind and compassionate, to be a good citizen. Take the time to extend a helping hand to those who need it most. And like Brady Henschel, always stay humble and kind. Never forget that each of you have the power to have a positive impact, to be a part of the solution, not the problem. Right, Rocco Sassani? Expand your mind and be open to experiencing new things and to meeting new people. Make a commitment to be an educated consumer of information and know that Abigail Sweigel is correct when she states that no sickness kills more than prideful ignorance. Remember that there is great value in taking time for yourself. I should have brought my water up. Find your passions and take risks. Listen to Christopher Burness and remember that the world is like a book, and if those who don't travel only read one page. And it's like Emily Gorton says, if you don't do wild things when you're young, you won't have anything to laugh about when you're old. Graduates, I assure you that you have left FCR a better place than when you arrived. You were just 7th graders, new to the high school during my first year here. And like Dakota Foster, I can't believe how quickly time passes. Your class night slideshow provided a beautiful view into your amazing experiences here in FCR. All that you have done, the lessons you have learned, the friendships you have made, the great times and the hardships. I hope that you realize that Madeline Shima was right when she said, "How lucky am I to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard." I speak for the entire Forest City Regional School community when I share how incredibly proud we are of each of you for the perseverance and resilience you demonstrated throughout the year. And yes, Hope Reams, this is your origin story, and the rest is yet to come. In closing, in the words of Jacob Requena, you can't just sit there and wait for life to come to you. You have to go get it. Congratulations, class of 2021. You did it.
Don't merely expect to find or to believe that life is worthwhile. Make it worthwhile. Don't merely see life whole. Make it whole. Not knowing which should come first, to improve oneself or to improve the world, we end up doing neither. Actually, the only way to improve the world is by improving oneself, and the only way to improve oneself is by improving the world.
Dreams, so many plans. Always knew after all these years there'd be laughter, there'd be tears, but never thought I'd walk away with so much joy, but so much pain, and it's so hard to say goodbye. But yesterday's gone, we gotta keep moving on. I'm so thankful for the moment, so glad I got to know you. The times that we had, I'll keep like a photograph and hold you in my heart forever. I'll always remember another chapter in the book. Can't go back, but you can look. And there we are on every page. Memories I'll always save. Up ahead, only open doors. Who knows what we're heading towards? I wish you love, I wish you luck. For you, the world just opens up. But it's so hard to say goodbye. Yesterday's gone, we gotta keep moving on. I'm so thankful for the moment, so glad I got to know you. The times that we had, I'll keep like a photograph and hold you in my heart forever. I'll always remember you. Every day that we had, all the good, all the bad, I'll keep them here inside. All the times that we shared, every place, everywhere, you touched my life. Yeah, one day we'll look back, we'll smile and we'll laugh, but right now we just cry. 'Cause it's so hard to say goodbye. Yesterday's gone, we gotta keep moving on. I'm so thankful for the moment, so glad I got to know you. The times that we had, I'll keep like a photograph and hold you in my heart forever. I'll always remember you. I'll always remember I'll always remember you. Would come, we'd be standing one by one with our future in our hands. So many dreams, so many plans. Always knew after all these years there'd be laughter, there'd be tears, but never thought I'd walk away with so much joy, but so